So Donald Trump made a comment the other day that kind of slipped under the radar for most people, but it did not slip under my radar. This is going to require some conversation here. This is going to require some commentary. So Trump was on the Hugh Hewitt show and was trying to connect with his 7 listeners. All 7 people were already going to vote for him, by the way. So totally not a waste of time. So he goes on this show and he makes these comments about criminals. So let me play it for you. And then I got to show you his history of similar comments, because this is actually a lot darker than it may appear at face value. Here we go.
She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. She wants to feed people.
She wants to go into government housing. She wants to go into government feeding. What?
She wants to feed people governmentally.
She wants to feed people governmentally. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ. What does she mean? Like, does he mean that she supports, like, the SNAP program, food stamps? Because you should, right? Some people are going to be not well off economically for whatever reason, and they should not starve to death in a civilized country, maybe?
She wants to go into a communist party type system. When you look at the things that she proposes, they're so far off. She has no clue. How about allowing people to come through an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? Many of them murdered far more than one person. I can't, guys. I'm sorry. How many times have I broken down the open border lie to you guys? Biden and Kamala Harris deported more people, both as a raw number and a percentage, than Donald Trump did. Yes, more getting in, but that's because there was a massive surge of them coming, right? What more do you want them to do? They kept in place Title 42. They kept in place Remain in Mexico. They did a lot of your policies. There's legitimate criticism of them from their left that they're too hard on the border, right? That they're too much like the Republicans. But no, open border, they got the open border. We haven't even gotten to the part yet, though. Here we go. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes. And we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
A murderer, it's in their genes. And we got a lot of bad genes in the country right now. What? Bro, hello to Leonardo DiCaprio's character in 12 Years a Slave. Like, this is just straight up eugenics and phrenology type shit. Like, what does that mean? What are you saying? We got some bad hombres, and we know the bad hombres, they got the bad genes, and the genes make them murderers. So, in other words, guys, here's why this is important. The point he's making is, anybody who commits a crime, by definition, is completely irredeemable. There can be no rehabilitation in any way, shape, or form because it's so deeply embedded in them that it's literally like part of their DNA. It's part of their genes. And so that's a very bleak, dark worldview, right? It's a worldview that says nobody can ever change for the better. By the way, the flip side of this is true too. So he thinks if you're a murderer, it's in your genes. He also thinks if you're successful, it's in your genes, right? The idea of like, like breeding 2 winning racehorses to create a very good racehorse. Like the same shit that we use on animals, he views that as like for people, right? Like a lot of these people, they're from bad stock. Bad mother, bad father, bad genes, criminals, unsuccessful, lazy. So in other words, totally discounts all social, economic, and cultural factors. Totally discounts it. So he is like the platonic ideal of the far-right worldview, which, by the way, culminated in what? Fascism, authoritarianism, and Nazism. It's true. Like, that was their take is literally everything is nature. Nothing is nurture, right? And he's echoing that point right here, going full eugenicist. That's an insane thing to believe. Okay, but if you think, well, Kyle, whatever, this is just one comment. What are you talking about? You know, maybe if he had a history of saying such things, it'd be a different situation. Well, let's look at this little compilation that we got here. Buckle up.
All men are created equal. Well, it's not true. Because some are smart, some aren't.
The family subscribes to a racehorse theory of human development.
When you connect 2 racehorses, you usually end up with a fast horse.
Secretariat doesn't produce slow horses.
They believe that there are superior people, and that if you put together the genes of a superior woman and a superior man, you get a superior offspring.
You have to have the right
the right genes.
I have a certain gene. I'm a gene believer.
Do we believe in the gene thing? I mean, I do.
I have a great genes and all that stuff, which I'm a believer in.
Well, I think I was born.
By the way, you also can use that logic to not work hard, not learn things, not try to better yourself as a person. And that is Trump to a T. He just thinks, look, I'm me. I'm superior. I'm superior. So therefore, I don't need to do the work. I don't need to study. I don't need to bust my ass. I don't need to work hard. I got the good genes, so I'm good. Literally, this is what he thinks. This is what he thinks.
I have a great genes and all that stuff, which I'm a believer in.
Well, I think I was born with a drive for success.
I was born with a certain intellect. The fact is, you have to be born and blessed with something up here. God helped me by giving me a certain brain.
Oh my God. Oh my God. But look, you guys understand how this can go sour, right? How this can go bad. Because he'll look at somebody, if they're a criminal, it's in your genes. You were born that way, right? If you're in poverty, if you don't do well economically, well, it's in their genes. They were always going to end up like that. They were born that way. There was nothing we could do as a society to fix it. So in other words, that inclines you to right-wing politics because you feel like, well, why should we have a Medicaid program? You know, why should we have a welfare program? Why should we do any social safety net? Because we're doing the social safety net. We're just trying to help out these losers who are never going to help themselves anyway because it's in their genes. They're born with it. It's inherent in their being, right? So what are we doing here? Let's not waste our time. They deserve no help. They deserve no support. If they had good genes, they'd be in a better place. They'd be better off economically. So this is the idea, guys. This is the idea.
It's this. It's not my salesmanship.
It's what?
This. You know what that is? It's the brain power.
I have Ivy League education, smart guy.
I have like a very, very high aptitude. I'm pretty good at English. I always did very nicely in English. I mean, like, I'm a smart person. You're born a fighter, and I've seen a lot of people, they want to fight, but they can't.
Now, by the way, wait for it. At the end is going to be the darkest comment you've heard. Wait for it.
Some people cannot genetically handle pressure. I always said winning is somewhat maybe innate. Maybe it's just something you have.
Which, by the way, again, this really helps explain him refusing to acknowledge that he lost, doing the fraudulent elector slates on January 6th, and trying to not certify Joe Biden. Because this is what he thinks, right? Oh, I'm a born winner. I'm a natural winner. I couldn't have lost. It's something you have or you don't. I know I have it, so I always win. God, this is dangerous shit.
Maybe it's just something you have. You know, you have the winning gene. Frankly, it'd be wonderful if you could develop it, but I'm not so sure you can.
You can't develop it. You are what you are. Full stop. Can never change it.
You know, I'm proud to have that German blood. There's no question about it. Great stuff.
Let me hear that one more time. What the hell?
It'd be wonderful if you could develop it, but I'm not so sure you can. You know, I'm proud to have that German blood. There's no question about it. Great stuff.
How ominous is that? How ominous is that? That's literally like a wink and a nod to Nazism. Guys, I'm not being hyperbolic here. This is just a description of what is. This is what he's saying. This is the shit he believes. Oh, man. So he believes in eugenics. He believes in phrenology. And look, like, okay, so is it possible to take the opposite worldview to its extreme, right? The idea of everybody's a blank slate. Everybody's a mold of clay and you can make them whatever. It is possible to take that to the extreme. It is possible to do that. You know, if you're born 4'8", or your peak height is 4'8", you're probably not going to be in the NBA. Do some people have, more of a proclivity to being more athletic or having better endurance or having higher intelligence, etc.? There absolutely is a nature component to almost everything. But equally as important, if not more so, is the nurture aspect to it. Your society, your culture, your environment, your financial situation, and he totally discounts all of those things. The reality is, look, when people say, well, which is it, nature or nurture? There's that age-old debate, right? The actual answer is sometimes it's nature, sometimes it's nurture, and most of the time it's both of those things, right? It's really that simple. And then for certain things, it's all nature. For other things, it's all nurture. And for most things, it's a mix. And it's all on a big spectrum, right? But clearly he discounts everything about nurture. It's useless. It's nothing to him. He's all about the nature of it, the genes of it, which is a very bleak, dark worldview because you are what you are. You're never going to change. If you're a criminal, you were born a criminal. If you're poor, you were born poor and you deserve to be poor. If you're wealthy and successful, it's a way to try to rationalize. And he tries to convince himself we live in a meritocracy and I just made it to the top because I'm special. It's like, no, bitch, you inherited $400 million from your dad and you went bankrupt 6 times. And you're one of the dumbest fucking people. Like, you say the most ridiculous things oftentimes. You get stuff wrong all the time. You lie all the time. So we don't live in a meritocracy, not by any stretch of the imagination. But this is how he convinces himself of it. I'm from good stock. I have good genes. I'm at the top. I should be at the top. It is a bleak, hierarchical, dark worldview. And it's dangerous. And he really is on the extreme end of the spectrum with that. And as you saw, he just said it with criminals in particular. I mean, Jesus Christ. Look, I'm tough on the horrible crimes as much as anybody else. Murder, rape, robbery, etc. I'm harsh on all those. I'm in favor of, doing a decent amount of punishment. But at the same time, there's a lot of crimes and a lot of circumstances where you can do rehabilitation. You can do rehabilitation. And he would discount that completely. He would say, no, there's no such thing as rehabilitation for anything because you are what you are. It's in your genes. Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ. Straight up authoritarian, fascist type stuff. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.